we didn't see Doctor Doom into this, but it's implied that Doctor Doom does exist. So where was he? I don't know, but my theory might be maybe, just maybe, Doom was out there in the multiverse.
Okay, so you go rewind where you said it was implied that he does exist in this universe. Where was the clue or Easter egg you felt like that he was in this universe?
The Latveria part when the United Nations were talking and he was missing. I'm not saying at first when I saw it, I immediately was like Victor's in his universe, because it could have been a possibility that he doesn't exist yet.
Okay.
But I felt like they didn't just tease that just to tease Liberia exists, bro. Like I was like, it's Doom, bro. Doom. But where the fuck is Doom? That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, where is Doom? Why is he not here? And it could have also be like, he's probably like, I don't want to work with Sue Storm. Like, that's my best friend and rival's wife. And he probably was like, I don't work with the rest of y'all. Like, he's a dictator.
Right.
So I could assume that he was taking it like as bad blood, he's like, F y'all, like I don't, I'm not for y'all.
So you think they may have had encounters with each other already?
Yes. I believe they bested him a couple of times. 4 years is a long time.
But I just not to reference him at all in this Galactus thing is kind of
like, where was he at this point though? That's the point what I'm trying to say.
Like it's hard for him not to be involved with the world ending, So
facts. There were so many unanswered questions, bro.
As sophisticated as we thought this movie was gonna be, it was actually pretty simple.
It was. And this is one thing I want to state out there, that coming out of this movie theater, this is how you make a superhero movie, bro. This is how you make a story without having an origin story. And y'all can hate. Marvel got 2 out of 3 for the slate this year. And if you want to be honest with you, Marvel and DC, I'm going to just say 2-0. That's all I'm going to say.
So you said 2 out of 3 for Marvel this year. What was the third one? The third project?
Fantastic Four.
So Fantastic Four, and I'm probably saying
Captain
Thunderbolts.
America, Captain America, Thunderbolts, or the New Avengers.
There was 3 movies. I totally forgot about that movie.
Mm-hmm. And those were bangers. Well, the first one, it was alright. But yes, the Thunderbolts didn't do as much. It didn't do well through the financially, the box office, but it was a great movie. I loved it. I think it was amazing. And in the Fantastic Four, that swept me away, bro.
All right, well let's get back. Let's get to the Thunderbolts, since we bought it up. Now we got that post credit scene in the Thunderbolts where we had the Fantastic Four ship, but when we finished this movie of Fantastic Four, there was no reference to them being in that ship in that 616 universe. So predictions as far as that particular post credit scene when we watched this movie back in May.
Okay, my predictions, but also I just want to state out there, the rumors were through the internet that people believed that it wasn't the Fantastic Four in the ship. People were questioning, like, who else could be on that ship. And at first I was like, no, it had to be the Fantastic Four. But the rumor was that people thought it was Victor Von Doom on this ship. But as we know, like, to going back to what we were talking about the United Nations and Liberia and all that, I truly starting to think that it's not the Fantastic Four, bro. I think it's Victor Von Doom. Because this is where I'm going to go with it, because we got to go talk about the mid-credit scene.
Which one in this
for
movie?
For me to answer this, yeah, for this movie, for the
let's explain the mid-credit scene
in the Thunderbolts. So we get in the mid-credit, because it's the mid-credit scene in the Fantastic Four, because the post-credit scene was after
right.
that.
Yeah. So
the mid-credit scene starts off where Sue Storm is reading a book to Frank Richards, and then he asks his mom that he wants his mother to read his favorite book. She gets up of the couch to go get his favorite book from the bookshelf, and as we see the camera turn to Sue picking out his son's favorite book, turns around and we see a glimpse of Dr. Doom talking to Frank Richards. We don't see the face, but we see the body, we see the armor, we see the cape, but the helmet's off. He never takes the helmet off because of the scars. He is self-conscious about the scars on his face, but he did it for Frank. This is so many. This is asking so many questions. Why did you do that? How, and where have you been? That's where it answers the question. Where has he been? He's been here. Has he been in his own universe? I don't think so. So my prediction is that that ship was Victor Von Doom, and I think him being there, talking to Frank, wasn't just to talk to Frank. I think he knows about Frank, well, prior because of the movie and all that. But I think he knew about Frank already, and I think he was there to hijack the ship because he found out that Reed Richard created a wormhole and is able to use the wormhole to travel to deep into space. Which, what's stopping him from using the ship or the wormhole into a multiverse?
Can we do that with that wormhole?
I think so, because I believe that was hinted in the movie. He never stated that you could do that, but remember when he was talking to the kids on the TV show about blowing stuff up, he was writing that there are wormholes that could connect to multiple universes, and I think that's where the hint is. I think he was working on that. On the low, we didn't really get too much of it, but I think he was, as he was dealing with all this bullshit, deep in his head, he's probably like, I think I can cross the multiverse. As we know from Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, that the Reed Richards from I forget the name of the universe now. But you know what I'm saying. In that multiverse, that yes. Reed Richards, who was played by John Krasinski, had already traveled the multiverse. Hence, how he knew about the incursions.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if that version of of Reed Richards already created a way to travel through the multiverse, what's causing Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards to be able to do the same? So that's crazy. So I think, and Victor Von Doom is also one of the smartest humans in the MCU.
838, so by the way.
838, yes, yep. Thank you. 838. But this is crazy because like seeing him there, it's like, oh crap. I was kind of wishing we got to see his face, but that's asking for too much. But this is amazing. I think he's gonna hijack the Fantastic Four ship, travel to the multiverse, which is, I think this is where it's gonna start, where we find out that Victor Von Doom is in the MCU, the 616.
Cause okay, so they got a subtitle at the end of the credit scene where it says the Fantastic Four will return for Avengers Doomsday. So they would have to have a reason to stop Doom. So I would think that he would take the baby.
It could be a possibility too. I didn't think about that. He could have stole the baby and then traveled in the multiverse.
Because it's like, all right, so you take the ship to the 616. See ya. You're not our problem anymore. Like, they would have to have some type of motivation to want to chase after Doom.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. He needs probable cause in order to cause Reed Richard to come after him or to get back at Reed Richard. And I think he probably does it because he probably knows what Frank is capable of the cosmic energy.
Right.
And probably he's going to use it for whatever plans he has in Doomsday. And I think that's where we're getting, I think, because this Avenger movie, Doomsday, is definitely going to be based off Doctor Doom. He's going to be the protagonist of this movie. Kind of like what we got in
Infinity War.
Thanos was the main character of that movie, and I think this is where we're going with it. This is why I believe we talked about this in the last pod. The Doctor Doom does land in the 616, and it's gonna be crazy because we have multiple Avengers groups assembled. And could you imagine? Because in the end credit scene for the Thunderbolts, they are aware that the ship is landing. They're about to go find this ship, and they are aware of the multiverse. It could be a possibility they have already traveled to the 828. It's a possibility, but I'm gonna speculate that they never traveled to multiverse.
Right.
I'm gonna go out of leap here, and my theory is that Doctor Doom is gonna hijack the ship, with or without Frank. My theory is that I didn't think about the Frank thing. He could have kidnapped him, but my thing is that he hijacks the ship because he knows that Reed was able to cross the multiverse. Steals the ship, lands in the 616. The new Avengers, the Thunderbolts, and the
Sam Wilson
Wilson's
Avengers.
Avengers are going to assemble, and they're probably going to have the little piece or whatever, and then they're going to find out who's in that ship, and I think it's going to be Doom. And I believe at this moment they're going to fight Doom, and Doom finds out that there is a person that looks just like him in this universe, and he's going to take advantage of it. I could see him stealing Tony Stark's technology from Stark Industries and use it to build a better armor, a suit of armor.
We might get some nanonite Doom armor.
That would be crazy. Or he could be stealing from Wakanda and make a vibranium suit like he did in the comics. And it's probably why we're gonna get the Wakandans to get involved in this movie as well, because it's supposed to be like 5 individual groups. It's supposed to have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the New Avengers, Sam Wilson's Avengers, and did I say the X-Men already?
Yes. But we haven't got any hint of the X-Men in this movie at all, though.
Not at all yet. But we did get the post-credit scene for the Marvels where Monica Rambeau's I forget her character's name, but lands into a universe where the X-Men exist.
Right.
And it could be a possibility that is Deadpool's universe.
We think so.
It could be. I'm speculating here, but I could see it possibly. Why not tie the knots? Why not just say that that's the universe where Deadpool comes from? Oh, that's the other person I'm thinking about. Deadpool and Wolverine's universe.